We're still learning how to say goodbye, still holding on to what we used to be. You packed your heart in a moment while I was begging you to stay with me. I thought love meant waiting, thought time would make you stay, but you were already halfway gone. While I was praying you'd change, I needed one more conversation, one more night to make it right, but you chose the silence, called it kinder than a fight. You left before I let go, before I was ready to lose you. I was still reaching for us when you were already through. You didn't give me closure, you didn't say why. You left before I let go, and it still hurts every night. I replay the ending in my head, looking for something I missed. Every maybe someday you said still burns like a broken promise. I would have stayed through the damage if you had stayed and tried, but you chose the easiest ending and left me wondering why. I would have understood the truth even if it broke my heart, but you disappeared mid-sentence and tore me apart. You left before I let go, before my heart caught up. You were already moving on, I was still in love. You closed the door so quietly I didn't hear it shut. You left before I let go, now I'm stuck between then and us. Maybe you thought leaving fast would make it hurt less, but the things you never said are the ones that hurt the best. I don't hate you for choosing yourself, I just wish you let me breathe long enough to say goodbye to what we used to be. I didn't need you forever, I just needed time. You left before I let go, but I'm learning how to now, learning how to loosen my grip on a love that won't come around. I'll carry what was beautiful and release what wasn't true. You left before I let go, but I'm letting go of you. I'm finally saying goodbye to the love I never chose to lose. You left before I let go, now I have to. You were right there beside me, so far from our reach. Your eyes started asking questions, your silence started teaching me. You laughed, you talked, you stayed around, but something in you left. I was holding conversations with someone else entirely. I kept reaching for your heart, but you already shut the door. You said nothing was wrong, well, I was hurting more and more. You left me behind emotionally while you were still holding my head. You walked away without moving, and I didn't understand. I was begging to be seen. You were already free. You didn't leave me physically. You left me behind emotionally. Just to make you wanna stay. You said I was overthinking, like my pain was in my head. But loneliness hits harder when the person's in your bed. I stayed loyal to the version of you that used to fight for us. You stayed only out of habit, not out of love. You left me behind emotionally, and I felt it every night. Lying next to someone breathing who was already out of sight. I was breaking in your presence. You didn't notice me. You didn't walk out of my life. You left me behind emotionally. Maybe you didn't mean to hurt me. Maybe you didn't know how to stay. But love shouldn't feel like fate. And while you're still saying my name, I don't hate you for leaving. I hate how long you stayed, letting me believe in us. While you drifted away, I wouldn't survive the truth if you had told me. You left me behind emotionally. Come with doors or final scenes to see. They happen quietly when someone stops choosing you. Unless you bleed. We built a home out of fragile dreams, promises whispered at 3 a.m. You said forever was ours to keep. Now I'm sleeping next to the ghost of them. Your jacket's still hanging by the door, like you might come back for it someday. But the silence says what you couldn't say. You were already gone while you stayed. I gave you my worst and my best. You gave up when I needed you most. I'm learning how to breathe again, but it hurt doing it now. You left me healing alone, with your name on every scar. I'm picking up pieces you broke, while you moved on like it wasn't hard. I loved you deeper than bone. You walked away like it was nothing. Now I'm fighting a war in my soul. You left me healing alone. I replay the fights in my head, wondering where I went wrong. Now I'm stitching up what you tore, trying to forget. You left me healing alone, with your words still burning my skin. I'm learning how to let you go, but I don't know where to begin. I loved you deeper than bone. You said goodbye without warning. Now I'm crying in rooms we called home. You left me healing alone. Maybe someday I'll understand why loving you wasn't enough, why I was willing to break while you couldn't stay when it got rough. I hope you find what you're chasing. I hope it teaches you true, that ours don't heal overnight, and love isn't disposable too. I still miss you, but I miss who I was before you broke me more. You left me healing alone, but I'm still standing somehow. I'm learning my heart's not weak, just bruised from loving too loud. You took your half and you ran, let me drowning in memories. But one day I'll love again, even if you left me healing alone. You walked away when I was bleeding. Now I'm learning how to survive. You left me healing alone, but I'm still alive. You left me healing alone. You didn't leave all at once. You faded out in pieces, a little less of your voice. Every time I needed it, you stayed but not the same. Your eyes were somewhere else. I was loving you out loud, you were quietly letting go of us. I kept waiting for a sign that you'd fight like I did, but every night you chose distance and called it try. You let me break slowly while you watched me fall apart. Every tear was a warning, every silence hit my heart. I was bleeding in your arms, and you still didn't hold me, you didn't leave me all at once. You let me break slowly. I blame myself for the cracks. Thought I just loved too much. I kept shrinking my needs so you wouldn't feel the rush. You said I'm still here, aren't I? But you were gone in every way. I was begging for effort, you were counting down the days. I stayed loyal to the dream, even when it hurt to breathe. I was trying to save us, you were learning how to leave. You let me break slowly, like it didn't hurt at all. You heard me crying beside you, but it never heard my call. I was drowning in maybe, while you were already free. You didn't walk away from me. if you cared enough, you wouldn't let it get this rough. I would've healed with you if you had stayed and tried, but you chose comfort over truth and watched me die inside. I didn't need perfection, I just needed you to stay. You let me break slowly, now I'm picking up the car. Every promise that you made is another thing I lost. I loved you through the ending, you loved me just enough to not feel guilty when you quit. You let me break slowly and call it love. One day I'll love without fear, without begging to be seen. But tonight I'm mourning the person I was before you let me break slowly. You used to hold me like I was fragile, like my heart mattered in your hands. You spoke in promises and whispers, said I'll always understand. But somewhere between the late nights and all the things we didn't say, your touch grew cold, your words grew sharp, and I felt you slipping away. I kept loving the version of you that looked at me like home. You kept changing into someone I didn't know. You didn't stay soft, you let the edges show. Every time I needed comfort, you needed space to go. I was breaking quietly, trying not to lose you. You didn't stay soft with my heart when I needed you to. I learned to lower my voice so I wouldn't start a fight. I learned to hide my tears so you could sleep at night. You said I was too emotional, like caring was my flaw. But love shouldn't feel like walking on a floor ready to fall. I stayed gentle through the damage, through the doubt and through the pain. You hardened every part of you and called it change. You didn't stay soft when I was falling apart. You turned your back on the love that only wanted your heart. I was bleeding in your silence, still trying to choose you. You didn't stay soft with my soul when I needed you to. Maybe softness scared you, maybe love felt too real. Maybe it was easier to shut me out than learn how to feel. I don't hate you for leaving, I hate how you stayed and let me slowly disappear while you walked away. I didn't need perfection, I just needed kindness. You didn't stay soft, now I'm learning to be everything you stopped being when you were with didn't love you halfway. I didn't play pretend. Every word I ever gave you, I meant it till the end. I saw the flaws you tried to hide, still chose to stay. I loved you in the moments you pushed me away. You said love shouldn't be this hard, like truth was asking too much, but I was giving you my heart, not just my touch. I loved you for real, with nothing to prove. I gave you my trust, you gave me your doubts. I stood in the fire while you stayed unsure. You may have loved me sometimes, but I loved you for real. I stayed when words were silent, when your eyes looked past my face. I made excuses for the distance, called it space. I believed in what we could be, more than what we were. I kept choosing forever, you kept choosing the door. You said maybe someday, like hope was enough. But loving you honestly was calling your bluff. I loved you for real, when it hurt to stay. I fought for our future, you faded away. I've broken the trying while you stayed unsure. You let go so easy. I loved you for real. Some harsh love inconvenience, some love in truth. I gave you all of me, you gave me partial proof. I don't regret the way I loved, I regret I stayed. Trying to turn your almost love into something that stays. If loving you was wrong, I'd still choose it again. I loved you for real, and that part is mine. I was honest with my heart every single time. Oh, one day I'll find a love, oh, that meets me where I stand. But you'll always be the one who knew I loved you for real. I didn't lose my heart in you, I showed it how to feel. No matter how you remember us, I loved you for real. I chose you in the mornings when the light was hard to face. I chose you in the evenings when silence filled the space. I chose you in the moments when walking felt easier. I stayed when love was heavy, when you started disappearing. You said love was automatic, like it didn't need a fight. But I was choosing you every single night. I chose you every day, through the doubt and the pain. I fought for us in ways you never did the same. I gave you all my faith, you slowly walked away. I was still choosing us, you weren't choosing to stay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. chose you in the breaking. When words were hard to say, I defended your distance, found excuses every day. I chose you in the waiting, and every maybe you gave. I built a life around a love you couldn't save. You said it shouldn't be this hard, like effort meant it was wrong. But loving you was a choice I made for far too long. I chose you every day while losing parts of me. I kept believing love would grow if I just didn't leave. I held on to our future, you let it fade away. I was still choosing you, you weren't choosing to stay. Some people love in feelings, some love in choice. I loved you with my actions, you loved me with a voice. I don't regret the way I loved, I regret I stayed, trying to be enough for someone who wouldn't choose me the same. If love is a decision, why was I deciding alone? I chose you every day, but now I choose myself. I won't beg for love, they won't meet me halfway. I love again with someone who chooses me the same. I chose you every day, you chose to walk away. I didn't fail at loving you, I stayed honest and true. I chose you every day, even when you never knew. We used to feel each other breathing, even miles couldn't pull us apart. Now you're right here, but you're leaving. Every time I reach for your heart, your messages grew shorter, your silence learned my name. I felt the warmth disappear before I knew what to blame. You said nothing's really changed, like I couldn't feel the shift. But love doesn't vanish suddenly, it just starts to drift. Distance replaced love, little by little. The closer I got, the more you went cold. I held on to us while you let go. Love, and you never noticed. I stopped asking where you were, started asking who I loved. I learned how far apart we'd grown without counting the cost. You said space would make us stronger, like it always does. But all it did was teach me how to miss what we were. You called it needing time, I called it losing you. I stayed hoping space would heal while it pulled us into distance replaced love. When words ran dry, I was still reaching. You weren't trying. Some hearts don't Why did it feel so far away? This is replace love, but I survived the space. I learned you can't miss someone standing face to face. I'll love again without begging, without waiting in the dark. You took your distance with you and left it in my heart. One day the space won't hurt, it won't call out your name, but tonight I'm learning how this is replace love and change me. You love me in the moment, but never in the plan. You held my heart like glass and let it slip from your hands. Every time we got too close, you started pulling away, like love was something dangerous. You couldn't let it stay. You said don't rush the future, like I was asking too much. But all I wanted was certainty and your trust. Forever scared you, I could feel it in your eyes. You loved me until it mattered, then you hid behind goodbye. I was ready for tomorrow, you were running from today. Forever scared you, and I paid for it that way. You talked about commitment like it was a like loving me completely would seal your fate. I stayed patient and hopeful while you stayed unsure. I was building something real, you were looking for the door. Shouldn't feel permanent, like rules for something wrong. But I was just asking you to stay when it got strong. Forever scared you, every promise I believe. You called it pressure, I called it loving you honestly. Not the weight of it, they want the feeling, not the work that comes with. I don't hate you for your fear, I hate how deep I fell trying to prove that forever wasn't something true. Staying felt like losing you, and leaving was easy. Forever scared you, but I wasn't afraid. I would have chosen you in every possible way. I'll love again without shrinking, without begging someone to stay. Forever scared you, but it won't scare and you were scared of something real. I was ready to trust. I felt it in the pauses between your words at night, in the way you stopped reaching, like you used to hold me tight. Your eyes didn't stay on mine, your laughter changed the sound. You were standing right beside me, but your heart wasn't around. You said nothing's really wrong, like love can just forget. But I was memorizing moments you were starting to regret. I felt you loving me less before you said goodbye. In the space between I love you and the tears you wouldn't cry, I held on to what was left while you already gone. I felt you loving me less, and I stayed too long. You stopped asking how I was, started checking out the door. Every silence felt heavier than the fights we had before. I blame myself for the distance, try to change my shape. I thought if I loved you harder, you'd choose to stay. You said love shouldn't hurt this way, like pain meant it was wrong. But loving you half-hearted is where I learned to be strong. I felt you loving me less in the way you said my name, like you didn't mean forever, like you never felt the same. I kept giving you my best while you were letting go. I felt you loving me less, but I didn't know how to say no, how to say no. Some hearts leave slowly without making a sound. They take the warmth little by little until you're freezing out. I don't hate you for changing, I hate how long I stayed trying to save a love that was already fading away. If you ever wonder why I broke, it wasn't all at once. I felt you loving me less, but I loved you all the same. I believed in every maybe, even when it caused me pain. One day I'll find a love that doesn't slowly leave, but you'll always be the one who taught my heart what it feels like to feel someone loving me less. I didn't lose you in a moment, I lost you little by little until loving you was learning how to let go. I thought love would be the answer, thought it was soft soften every scar. I believed if I held you close enough, we wouldn't fall apart. You said time would fix it. Damn it, said we just needed faith. But every night we stayed together felt like another break. I kept pouring all my patience into wounds you wouldn't face. I was trying to save us while you called it space. This was a love that didn't heal, no matter how hard I tried. I gave you all my tenderness, you gave me reasons to cry. I stayed believing in the promise you already through. This was a love that didn't heal, and it broke me in two. Yeah, I learned to hide my hurting so you wouldn't feel the weight. I told myself love meant surviving, not knowing when to escape. You held me when it was convenient, let go when it got real. I was bleeding next to you, and you never felt the feel. I would have stayed through every storm if you had stayed too. But love came in the heart alone, no matter how true. This was the love that didn't heal, it just taught me how to ache. I kept stitching us together while you watched me break. I fought for something dying, you already free. This was a love that didn't heal, but it taught me how to leave. Maybe love isn't meant to fix what only truth can say. Maybe two hearts have to fight, no one learning how to stay. I don't hate you for the ending, I hate how long I tried to heal a love that kept on hurting. No matter how I cried, I wanted us to heal, I really did. This was a love that didn't heal, but it doesn't mean I failed. I loved you with everything, even when it cost me myself. One day I'll love without bleeding, without begging to feel. This was a love that didn't heal. Now I'm learning how to. Some love teaches you how to hold on, some teach you when to let go. This was a love that didn't heal, but it showed me what love isn't. I saw the signs, I won't pretend. The silence growing in your eyes, but I kept believing in the us while you were already saying goodbye. I held your words like they were true, every promise, every lie. You let go without a warning, I was still trying to survive. I've been until I almost broke, just to keep you close to me. You slipped right through my open hands like I was nothing you could see. I was still reaching while you were letting go, still calling your name in a house that felt so cold. I was still fighting for love you already left. You were walking away in peace. through the wreck. I blame myself for every crack. Thought loving harder was the cure. I stayed when it hurt to breathe. You left to feel something more. You said you needed space to heal, but you took mine when you ran. I gave you everything I had. You couldn't even stay and stand. I would have learned your darkest fears. I would have waded through the pain, but you chose the easy exit and left me screaming in the rain. I was still reaching while you were already gone, still saving you a place in a story you moved on from. I was still believing in words you didn't mean. You were learning how to forget. I was still reaching for we. Maybe love isn't supposed to hurt like this. Maybe I loved you more than you could give. I was building dreams from broken ground. You were already halfway out. I don't hate you, I just ache from loving you alone. It's hard to let go of someone who felt like home. I was still reaching for the version of you that stayed. I was still reaching with my hands bleeding whole, trying to save what was dying while you were learning to cope. I was still holding on to a future you erased. You were healing by leaving. I was still reaching and breaking I was still reaching and breaking. Now I'm learning how to let go of the love I couldn't save. You moved on without looking back. I was still reaching. Too late. I stayed when the lights went out, when your smile stopped reaching your eyes. I stayed when your silence grew loud and every week started to die. I read between all your words, heard goodbye before you said a thing. You were pulling your heart away, I was still holding everything. I told myself love was patience, that staying meant I was strong, but I was the only one trying to keep us going on. I stayed loving you when you stopped choosing me. I held on to hope, you let it quietly leave. You were learning how to forget. I was praying you stay. You walked away without looking back. I stay loving you anyway. I softened my needs for your comfort, learn not to ask for too much. I smiled through the hurt in my chest, just to feel a piece of your touch. You said you needed more time, like love was something to delay. But time doesn't heal what's ignored, it just teaches hearts how to wait. I would survive on one side. No matter how true, I stay loving you through the doubt and the pain. I carry the weight of us both while you slipped away. You found peace in leaving. I found scars that remain. You said goodbye with your lips. I stay loving you with my pain. Maybe love isn't meant to beg or make you feel this small. Maybe two hearts should meet halfway, not one giving it all. I don't regret the love I gave, even though it broke me in two. I just wish you would love me enough to stay loving me too. I would've stayed forever if you had stayed too. I stay loving you, but now I'm letting go. Not because I stopped caring, but because I deserve more. I'll take back my heart from the dark, where I kept it for you. You moved on without looking back. I stayed loving you until I couldn't wait. Remember the good, let go of the pain. Learn how to love without losing my name. I stay loving you longer than I should've, but I loved you true. I saw the cracks from the beginning, but I call them growing pains. I kept believing love was patient, and patience would ease the pain. You said you'd try, said you'd do better. Every time I cried, I held on to all your someday, while my heart slowly died. I learned how to forgive too fast, how to silence my doubt. I kept choosing your potential over what you showed me now. I stayed hoping you'd change while I stay the same, still loving you completely through the hurt and the blame. You promised me tomorrow, but live for today. I stayed hoping you'd change, and I paid the price. I bent myself into your comfort so you wouldn't feel the weight. I kept lowering my standards just to keep you close to me. You said love shouldn't feel this hard, like I was asking too much. But love doesn't quit when it's heavy, it learns how to show up. I was loyal to the future, you were loyal to your fear. I stayed through all the warning signs, you disappeared. I stayed hoping you'd change through the silence and the lies. I was fighting for our forever, you were just getting by. I believed in every promise you never meant to keep. I stayed hoping you'd change while you stayed hurting me. Maybe love isn't waiting for someone to become the person they said choosing your growth over mine, again and again by choice. I thought loving harder would be enough. I stayed hoping you'd change, but I'm changing now. I'm learning how to walk away without asking how. I'll carry what was real and leave the rest in the past. I stayed hoping you'd change, but I stayed too long. Some loves don't end in anger, they end in truth. I stayed hoping you'd change. Now I'm choosing me over you, over you. I used to talk like time stood still, and nothing else could break us down. But somewhere between your silence, I started losing you somehow. I felt you slipping through my hands like sand I couldn't make stay. I paid the night for one more chance, but love doesn't always obey. I gave you patience, gave you truth, gave you all I had inside. You gave me reasons not to stay, and still I tried. This is the love I couldn't save. No matter how hard I fought, I held on water faded. You let it turn to lost. I screamed your name in the dark, but you were already gone. Now I'm standing in the ruins of the love I couldn't save alone. I ignore the cracks in every word. I'd say the pain's just a phase. I can't believe love meant pain, and that one day you'd change. I carry your songs on your shoulder while you watch me break apart. I was stitching wounds with hope you would tearing at my heart. I would've stayed through every storm if you had stayed with me, but you chose the easier way out and left me on my knees. This is the love I couldn't save. No matter how much I did, I gave you all my tomorrow. You gave up on us instead. I did to whom it tried jobs. You burned it down in red. No, I'm on you, want me, what the love I couldn't save. Yeah. Maybe love shouldn't feel like war. Maybe it shouldn't pay to stay. Maybe two hearts have to fight. Now one holding all the weight. I don't hate you, I judge birth from having you alone. Some goodbyes don't come with closure, they just echo. I try to fix what you wouldn't face. I try to stay when you pulled away. This let you go, it's shaking.